Sometimes, life hits you so hard, you don't know how to stand back up. Sometimes, the world turns its back on you, and you wonder if the struggle is even worth it. But then comes a man like Chris Gardner, a man who teaches us that no matter how dark life gets, you must keep moving forward. This is the true story behind the pursuit of happiness. Chris Gardner was an ordinary man. He wasn't born rich. He didn't have connections. He was just a salesman trying to make ends meet, selling bone density scanners to doctors who didn't really want them. But he believed in it. He believed in himself. And he believed he could give his son a better life. But belief alone doesn't pay rent. As time went on, the bills piled up. His wife, exhausted and broken, decided to leave. She couldn't take the constant pressure, the endless struggle. Now, Chris was alone with a 5-year-old son, and a dream that seemed to be slipping further away each day. But that's the thing about dreams. If you don't fight for them, they'll die. Then one day, Chris saw something. A man in a suit, stepping out of a red Ferrari. He asked him, "What do you do?" And the man said, "I'm a stockbroker." That moment changed Chris forever. He didn't know anything about stocks. He didn't go to college, but he had drive. He had the will to learn, and that was enough to knock on the door of Dean Witter, a big brokerage firm in San Francisco. They told him there was an unpaid internship, 6 months, no salary, no guarantees. Most people would walk away, but not Chris. He had no money, no safety net, just hope, and a child who depended on him. So he took the internship, and life got even harder. Chris and his son were evicted. They slept in shelters, in train stations, even a public restroom where he locked the door and held his child close, tears silently falling, hoping the world wouldn't break them tonight. But still, every morning, he woke up, put on a suit, and went to that office like he belonged there. He studied harder than anyone. He made more cold calls than anyone. He worked like his life depended on it, because it did. People around him had everything: money, homes, peace of mind. Chris had none of it, but he had something they didn't: a reason. He wasn't just chasing a job. He was fighting to prove that you can be down to nothing and still rise up to something. He said, "You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you, you can't do it. You want something? Go get it. Period." That line wasn't just in the movie. That was his real life. And finally, after months of sacrifice, after sleeping in shelters and showing up like a warrior, Chris Gardner was called into a meeting. He didn't know what to expect, and then they looked at him, smiled, and said, "We'd like to offer you a position." He walked out of that building, tears in his eyes, finally free of the weight that crushed him for so long. That day, he was no longer just a father, or an intern, or a man selling scanners. He was a stockbroker, a man who beat the odds. Years later, Chris Gardner built his own multi-million-dollar firm. He became a motivational speaker, an author, and a reminder to the world that you can lose everything and still win. But the real victory, he never gave up. Not on himself, not on his son, not on life. So, if you're out there right now, feeling like the world is too heavy, like your dreams are slipping away, remember this: you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep going. You just need to believe that the pain will pass and the light will come. Because happiness isn't handed to us. It's earned through pain, through persistence, through the courage to rise again and again. This was The Pursuit of Happiness, a story not just about success, but about the relentless spirit inside every one of us. Don't give up. Your story isn't over yet. Don't miss the next story that could change your life. Subscribe now.